Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation talk. Just looking forward to meeting you all here today. Let me know where you're checking in from. Where's everybody checking in from here today? Just waiting for a few more people to join here. Welcome, everybody. I hope you've had a great day today. Stay busy and sane. Alexandria, Virginia, welcome. I used to live down there. Beautiful. I hope the weather is just as stellar as it's up here. I'm here in Woodstock, New York, out in the woods for a little while longer. Right. Who else do we have here? Chime in. Where are you calling in from? Where are you checking in from? All right, so let's get going. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy you're joining today's talk. My name is Ariane Hundt. I'm a clinical nutritionist and a fitness expert. And a clinical nutritionist basically deals with human nutrition from a more holistic perspective, meaning my goal is to help people succeed in the real world. I'm not all about counting calories, but I want to help you function with a very thorough understanding of your body and metabolism in the real world and take the show on the road. And I also have a background in personal training, so I advise people on how to put together holistic programs to help them achieve their goals, whether they're health-related, fitness-related, or whether they're more mindset-related, meaning how to create a healthier or happier relationship with food and your body. Blacksburg, hello, Rhode Island. Hello, Canada. Ohio, excellent. Great, from all over. Fantastic. We have a good mix here. Miami, wonderful. Send some sun up here. So let me give you a brief overview of what I want to discuss with you today. And at the end, I want to open it up for questions from you so I can make sure that I address anything that I didn't discuss. I want to start out by giving you just a basic overview of how you can make nutrition work in the real world, given your unique situation. We're going to dive a little bit into exercise, how you can make exercise a priority even in these crazy times. And I want to teach you about the importance of micro workouts. Micro workouts are a brand new thing. Micro workouts are basically short workouts that you throw in little bits throughout the day that help you gain greater fitness, strength, and endurance. And I'll give you a little demo you can join in later on. I also want to talk about the effects of stress on your metabolism, on blood sugar balance, and how you can mitigate the effects of stress on your body and make sure that even though times are stressful, that you don't leave this period or you don't come out of this period feeling the effects of stress physically or mentally. And then lastly, I want to talk about mindset. What are some simple things that you can implement throughout the day, every day, that make you feel better, more balanced, more with it, more focused and sharp and good in your skin, even though there are many things you can't control right now, right? So as an overview, we are all living right now in uncertain times. We don't know what the next week will bring. We don't know what the next year will bring. So when you're uncertain, when things are uncertain, the only thing you can do is really take the reins and start taking charge of things. And there are a few things you can take charge, which is your nutrition, which is how you take care of your body and how you take care of your brain and how you make sure you move out of this and come out of it at the end of it, feeling strong and in charge, and hopefully like you grew from this. So that is something that I want to help pass along to you today, the sense of control, a sense of purpose that you can have despite things feeling very uncertain. All right, so let's dive right into the nutrition piece. Now, there are some very important things that we all need to do. Whether you have diabetes or not, we all need to make sure that our blood sugar is balanced, because where our blood sugar is affects our mood, our overall health, whether our immune system is strong and in check or not, whether we're more susceptible to disease, how strong our digestion is, and how good our energy is. And also whether we're hungry or whether we quiet down our hunger. So the most important thing that we all need to do every day is to control our blood sugar, is to manage our carbohydrates. Just a little reminder for everybody, we have three main types of carbohydrates. Those are sugars, vegetables, the fibrous carbohydrates, and starchy carbohydrates. And when you look at sugar, let me just give you this very sophisticated PowerPoint presentation. Now, when you eat sugar, let's talk cookies, pure sugar, candy, cakes, pastries, you know that sugar enters your bloodstream instantly and raises it very high, at which point naturally your body should be making insulin, but your body doesn't with juvenile diabetes. So you need a lot more insulin to get your blood sugar back down to normal levels. And when you have a roller coaster of sugar all throughout the day, you're basically going from feeling very full to very hungry, because when you're down here, you feel hungry again. You feel foggy, can't really focus. You also feel very tired and sluggish. And that's not a good situation to be in, because you can't get work done. You always think about food, where's the next meal coming from? And you actually have to think about blood sugar and insulin management. So when we can reduce the amount of sugar we take in, we're creating the biggest impact we can have on our health. Sugar reduction, biggest one. That also includes sodas and soft drinks and so on. Now let's take a look at vegetables, for example. Now vegetables, think of anything that's green. Vegetables such as broccoli or asparagus or spinach or cauliflower. Think of carrots and so on. When you eat vegetables, they come with very few carbohydrates, and those carbohydrates raise your blood sugar very little. And because those vegetables are loaded with fiber, they fill you up for a long time. So you get a slight rise in blood sugar, it keeps you full for a long time, and there's very little insulin needed to get that carbohydrate into your cells. So that's actually where you want to be, where you don't depend on huge amounts of insulin. Compare the high sugar to the vegetable intake. Big difference in blood sugar. Let's take a look at the third type of carbohydrate, which is starch. So think of anything that grows on the ground. We're talking sweet potatoes, white potatoes, we're talking grains, we're talking chickpeas, we're talking beans. While they're all considered healthy, they are quite high in carbohydrates, and they can still raise your blood sugar quite a bit and give you a sugar spike. That means you need more insulin to get that sugar into your cells so the cells can make energy from it. So even though starchy carbohydrates are considered healthy, they don't necessarily help you regulate your blood sugar as well as you want to. So the name of the game is really to focus this period on loading up on vegetables. They could be fresh. If it's hard to get fresh vegetables, if you're only going out once a week or twice a week, twice every 2 weeks to go shopping, it's a really good idea to load up on frozen vegetables. And typically they stay fresh, or they're fresher than fresh vegetables because they're frozen right after harvest, and they're not shipped across the country or the continents and sitting in a store and sitting in a fridge and cooked to death. So frozen veggies are the way to go, whether you make soups or stews or stir fries or smoothies where you throw frozen veggies in, add a good protein powder just to balance your blood sugar level better. Those are all things you can do during these days to get your blood sugar in check. And of course, in order to control your appetite and keep your blood sugar in check, protein intake is also important. It plays an important role. When you hear protein, think of anything that's ever been alive or comes from a live source. So we're talking any kind of meat, chicken, turkey, fish, but we're also talking, for example, eggs and protein powder and dairy. Dairy comes with a little bit more carbohydrates than the other protein sources. So when you know that chicken, for example, or turkey or fish have no carbohydrates at all, it doesn't have an impact on your blood sugar level, and it actually helps your body stay full. Protein is one of the most satiating nutrients. So if you're hungry, ideally go for protein and pair that with a vegetable. I'm talking things like roasted broccoli with a nice piece of salmon, or you're making some grilled chicken with some roasted Brussels sprouts. Those are all meals that get your blood sugar balanced for a long time. You're full for 3 to 4 hours, and it has a positive impact on your body and your satiation. So something that I always encourage my clients to check in for is ACE. I call it ACE. ACE stands for appetite. Is your appetite balanced or is it through the roof? Your C stands for cravings. Do you have sugar cravings all the time or are they quiet? And E stands for energy. Where's the energy? Is it balanced or do you feel low energy? When A, C, and E are balanced, then you know your blood sugar is also balanced as well. So you don't necessarily have to count everything, but sometimes looking at those symptoms of blood sugar balance tells you everything you need to know whether your diet is in check or not. So ACE, appetite, cravings, energy. Perhaps try to ask yourself that throughout the day and see where you are. Of course, it is very helpful to eat smaller, more regular meals throughout the day to balance your blood sugar level. People who have a very balanced blood sugar level, they can skip meals better. That's individually different for everybody. And while we're talking about individualized nutrition instructions, I just want to remind you that these are generalized ideas that don't apply to everybody. So I'm giving you suggestions. By no means are those supposed to replace any recommendations you get from your healthcare provider and the specialist that you're seeing to manage your unique situation. All right, so just heads up about that. Now, when your blood sugar level is balanced, you notice an instant improvement in your mood. I'm sure a lot of you notice the impacts of having gone from high sugar to low sugar. Sometimes we get cranky or hangry or moody and brain fog. So those are also telltale signs of what your blood sugar is doing. Eating more fiber, of course, helps your digestion and it makes you feel lighter. And being more regular also makes you feel happier and lighter and healthier, right? It also has an impact on your body. A balanced blood sugar level helps your body reduce inflammation. High blood sugar is linked to inflammation in the body. Inflammation could be anything from acne to joint pain, to arthritis, to headaches sometimes are a sign of inflammation in the body. All right. And of course, the biggie right now that we're focusing on is the impact on your immune system. So when your blood sugar level is balanced and we're reducing sugar intake, we're also allowing our immune system to work at its highest capacity. Studies have shown that within 5 hours of eating sugar, processed foods, your immune system works at only 50% of its capacity. So isn't that a motivator to cut down on sugar a little bit more and replace it with more vegetables? Actually, there are 3 things that I swear by when I have a sugar craving. Sugar cravings are normal, especially for women. Sometimes they're driven by hormonal fluctuations the week before your period or during stressful times. We tend to crave more sugar. Go for dark chocolate. The darker the chocolate, the less sugar. So if you're going for something that's like 90, 95, even 100% chocolate, you're getting virtually no sugar, but your brain gets the message that it just got something really indulgent because dark chocolate also has a good bit of fat. So you're getting that creamy sensation where your brain goes, ding, 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 this worked. And you don't need much. You need like 2-3 pieces and you should get that fix that you need. Also, you can make a dark hot chocolate using dark cocoa powder. It also has no sugar, dark cocoa powder. You mix that in a cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, 0 sugar, or maybe 1 gram of carbohydrates, and you add some stevia. And stevia also does not raise your or impact your blood sugar level. You heat that up and it tastes better than hot chocolate. And within a cup, you feel that warmth, you feel that creaminess, indulgence, and you get a real good sugar fix without impacting your blood sugar negatively. And then you can also just mix your dark cocoa powder in maybe a Greek yogurt and add some stevia to it. Those are all things you can do. But dark cocoa is really the way to go to fix any sugar cravings. All right. Okay, sugar can rise from protein. That's a very good comment. If you're eating too much protein, it can actually raise your blood sugar as well. So portion control is key when it comes to protein as well. A good portion is to eat about the size and thickness of your palm. So men have bigger palms than women. They get to eat a little bit more, but for a woman, that's about 20 grams of protein on average. If you're eating a heck of a lot more, yes, that can again stimulate insulin. So portion control really is important with that as well. With starches and with sugar, obviously. With vegetables, portion control is given by the fact that fiber is so satiating, it's really hard to binge on broccoli. If you've ever done it, please tell me. But typically it's very hard to overeat on broccoli as it's so filling, or any kind of vegetable. All right, any quick questions about nutrition that you want to address here? Any questions that you have? Some would never eat salmon. Yeah, I hear you on that. There's probably ways around it. Maybe you can wrap it in seaweed, or maybe it's a phase. All right, and I'm just gonna ask one more time, any nutrition questions here? Otherwise I'll move on. We'll save it all for the end, okay? So let's move on to the impact of stress on your metabolism. Now, stress is a big word. We all like to say, I'm stressed, I have so much going on. But when you say I am stressed, there's actually a change happening in your nervous system. So your brain, your nervous system has two main channels. One channel is the sympathetic one. They call it fight or flight, or the stress part of your nervous system. That one is activated by you experiencing something stressful, whether it's an argument, or you all of a sudden, you know, a car shot out of the driveway in front of you, got frightened, or you are actually thinking of something stressful. You have not even experienced it, but you're just thinking or imagining something. That alone can trigger a stress response in your body. We also have a calm part in our nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. And when that part is activated, we feel good. It allows us to go, you know, it allows us to get that big sigh out. That's activated when we're in nature, when we're eating regular balanced meals, when we sleep a lot, when we move and exercise regularly, when we hug somebody, physical affection. Anything that we do that makes us go, activates that calm part of the nervous system. And that allows your body to really function well. It allows all organs to do what they're supposed to do. But when the stress response is constantly awakened, then there's a danger that long-term stress can actually create long-lasting health issues. So the instant impact of stress on your blood sugar is that your blood sugar rises through stress. And here's how. You perceive something as stressful that has to do with your mindset. That then sends a message down to your thyroid gland. So your thyroid can be affected over time. There could be an underfunction or an overfunction. It can affect your digestion. Your digestion is very stress sensitive. There's thousands and thousands of nerve endings in your gut that pick up on stress. It can affect your sex organs. So it can actually affect your cycle. It can affect your fertility. It can affect sex drive. It can affect anything that is affected by the release of testosterone and estrogen and progesterone. And it can affect your brain health. So it can make you feel more anxious, more depressed. It can actually affect your sleep, and it can also affect your mood. So long-term stress is something we want to avoid, and we want to understand how we can mitigate the effects of long-term stress. Short-term stress raises our blood sugar by the liver gets the message that there's stress. And your liver's job is to have carbohydrates stored in it that it readily pumps out in case you need to flee, in case there's a fight or flight response, in case you need to run away from a dangerous situation. So anytime you perceive stress, instantly there will be a rise in your blood sugar because your liver dumps carbohydrates into your bloodstream. So when you notice that happening, there are a few things you can do. You can balance your diet. You can also exercise to get rid of some of that, utilize some of that blood sugar. You can just walk. You can do something more active, a few things that I'll show you in a few minutes. And also you can also check your mindset and understand that you just triggered a stress response simply by imagining something stressful. It goes both ways. Imagine you're going out on a date, right? You're just imagining you're going on a date. You anticipate the person arriving. You anticipate the person picking you up, taking you somewhere, and instantly your heart rate pumps, right? Your heart rate shoots up, your face gets flushed, your palms might get sweaty. That's just the imagination of you going out on a date, right? So the imagination we have is very powerful. So you can use it both to imagine something positive, which I recommend you do when you notice stress is kicking in, and when you notice negative stress kicking in, then you jump to some the exercises that I'll show you in a few minutes to mitigate the stress. Okay, so this is just a general educational piece to make you understand that this part, our head, our brain, is incredibly powerful, and just a few thoughts, whether positive or negative, can trigger a physiological effect. So just yep. So somebody says, my daughter suffers from anxiety. It's definitely worse when her sugar is bad. Yep. Yep, absolutely. So very good. I'm glad that you guys have recognized that as well. Yeah, well, okay. Daughter has had several days of high sugar. We will actually get into a few exercises, mindset exercises that we can utilize at the end to balance blood sugar imbalances. Okay, now let's talk exercise. When you exercise, your body uses fuel to get you moving. We all should be moving as much as possible. That's no news. During stressful times, when your blood sugar is higher, when we're stuck at home and our dietary choices may not be the very best, we need to make sure we move to utilize some of that sugar in our bloodstream, because if our sugar stays high, you know, the negative effects of that. So there are a few things you can do. If you don't get the chance to go out, you can implement micro workouts throughout the day. Micro workouts are just that. They're short bursts of energy that you incorporate throughout the day to get moving. That could be a minute plank, that could be some squats, that could be you running up and down the stairs, that could be you doing some lunges, or it could be some sit-ups or push-ups, all right? And I wanna just challenge you to get on the floor with me and do a few of these exercises right now. When we do things that are strenuous, our body looks for energy that is immediately available. So it will utilize the energy that is in your bloodstream as a first source. If you haven't eaten for a while, your body will utilize energy that is stored in your liver and muscles. There are carbohydrates stored as well. And then if we still don't have any energy left in there because you've been eating a lower carb diet, then our body has the ability to release body fat for energy, right? So we're basically never running out of energy. We always have something. Let's just get together on the floor, see if you can pad your knees, and let's start with a basic push-up. Cross your legs over, place your hands under your shoulders, and just get the elbows out to the side and go as low as you can. If you've never done push-ups, you can do them against the wall, right? You place your hands against the wall, and you just come close. You want to make sure that your shoulder is always higher than the hands. So I'm going to show you the knee push-ups. Let's just do 10 nice and slow. On your way up, you squeeze your chest muscles and you pull your navel super tight. Drop your butt down. You're a straight line from your shoulders down to your knees. Elbows out, open your chest. And just do it slowly. Do it slowly with control. All right, we want to create muscle fatigue so that the body actually has to respond to what you're putting it through. Training means you're getting better at doing things. So you've learned on push-ups before, don't expect yourself to be perfect at them. All right, training means you have to do your training to get better. Let's do just 3 more push-ups. Great for the upper body, for the arms, biceps, chest, shoulders, and actually your abs are working as well. All right, here's another move. I'm gonna be lying on your back. It's a simple ab move that is super effective, but very gentle. Just bend your knees in a 90-degree angle here. Feet on the floor, put your hands on your abs, and just press your lower back into the floor or the mat. I want you to just feel how much your abs are engaged. Chin up at the ceiling and come back down. Just press your lower back into the mat. Do it again. Exhale on the way up and hold it. And slowly come back down. Let's do 8 more here, just 10. Exhale, coming up. Hold it. And slowly coming down. The most important thing you can do is to press your lower back into the floor to engage your abs. And slowly come back down. what you will feel is that you're working the top, the middle, the bottom, and the side. So this is one of the most effective moves. You don't need to do crunches. You don't need to do crazy bicycle moves. You don't need any gadgets. You just do it slow and controlled. And if you do that slow and controlled, you should actually notice some ab shaking, right? And that's the best sign that you're engaging all the right muscles. Just do another 3 here. Exhale, hold. Holding the muscle makes the muscle stay engaged for longer. You're making each rep, each repetition count as more effective. Last one. Good. Now let's do a full body move. Coming up is standing and come into a squat. Now what you want to do is imagine you're sitting down in a chair, right? All the weight is in the heels, and you're squeezing your butt and lean back as if you have a backrest. Right? I don't want to see you here. I want to see you upright. So you're holding your squat and then press back up. Sit down. Your butt comes almost as low as the knees. You don't have to come that low. And if you've never done a squat, just pull up a chair or a couch and just sit down and come back up. Right? You can modify all these exercises to your own ability level. The most important thing in a squat is that your weight is in the heels and you could lift your toes up if you had to. All right, let's do another 5 here. Stick your chest out, so you're really working your butt muscles and your hamstrings or the quads. And if you do these slow, you'll feel how your heat is rising. So you really notice how you're making your muscles work. 2. And once you've already got 3 moves done. Now here's a lunge. A lunge is really simple. You can hold on to something if you need to, the kitchen counter or a wall. 1 leg in front, 1 in the back. You drop that back knee down to create a 90-degree angle, and then you come back. All you do is bend that back knee. Now this is a really great move because it stretches the hips, and we all are sitting way too much and have tight hips. So this is a good hip stretcher, but it also works your butt, the front of your thighs, and the back of your thighs. All right, so we're gonna do another 5 here. Again, modify as you have to. And this is actually fine for your knees as well. Just hold on to something if you need to. And 2 more. And let's switch the legs. Get the other leg in front. Drop your back knee down. Let's do 10 lunges here. Great full body move. And the beauty of these lower body exercises is that you are working the biggest muscles in your body. Meaning, working the big muscles means they take a lot of energy. They burn off a lot of energy. Working just the biceps wouldn't do nearly as much. Let's do another 5 lunges. So if you need to get your blood sugar level down, exercise is a really good way to do that. And strength training can get your heart rate up as high as if you were running. So don't underestimate these simple moves. They're very effective. So we just did 4 exercises here. 1 more, that is also a full body move for the core, is a plank. All you do is get in the elbows and you make sure that your body is in one straight line from your shoulders to the ankles, and you hold it for as long as you can. If you need to drop your knees down, that's fine. You pick them right back up. Try ideally to build up to 30 seconds. And then you go from there. So just a few things you can do throughout the day. It doesn't have to be a full 5-minute workout. It can be simply you dropping down, doing 20 push-ups. It could be you running a place for 30 seconds. Do what you can. I'm running around with my kids all day long. That is more effective than spending an hour in the gym. Studies have actually shown that when you move all day, like when you're a tourist in a town somewhere else and you're walking around all day long, or when you're a mother and you're running after your children all day long, that is more effective in terms of creating blood sugar control and fat loss than cranking out an intense hour in the gym at the end of the day after sitting all day long. Just to repeat, moving all day long is more effective than a full hour of an intense workout in the gym. All right, so don't feel guilty if you don't make it to the gym right now. Don't feel bad that you're not getting a full hour-long workout in. You simply want to do what you can. Get up in the morning, crank out 20 push-ups. Before lunch, just do a minute plank. In the afternoon, get out and maybe take the stairs somewhere if you're going downstairs, or go take a walk in the park. Do what you can. All right, it all adds up. And especially if you find you've had too many carbohydrates, Then make sure you're balancing them out in the next meal and add some exercise to the mix to burn off some of that carbohydrate in your bloodstream, the blood sugar. All right. Now, actually, I want to talk about the benefits of these micro workouts one more time. The beauty of them is also that it increases your oxygen levels in the blood. Really important indicator of health. It actually boosts brain performance. So if you're sitting at your desk and you just can't focus and get work done, just get off the desk, just strip down, move a little bit, and you'll find you come back more focused and centered, right? Okay, great questions coming in. That's fantastic. Thanks everybody for chiming in. Now let's talk about mindset. Now, mindset is a big word. Mindset really just means what is your attitude throughout this. As I've mentioned earlier, our mindset has everything to do with how we perceive the world. There might be some of us here who are enjoying this period because it allows us to be more focused work-wise. Perhaps it's allowed us to reconnect to our families in a different way. It's maybe allowed us to appreciate all the good that we do have despite the uncertainty. And there are people who are looking at it as all negatives, right? They may find that I can't get the food in the stores that I want. I wish I could go back to the office. And why isn't this being taken care of? So it all depends on what you focus on. The way you move through this has everything to do with your attitude and with your mindset, right? And your mindset then affects how your body responds. If you're dealing with things in a more balanced, calm manner, your blood sugar will be a lot more balanced, your appetite will be a lot more balanced, your sugar cravings will be much more in control, and your energy will be better. You will also sleep better and recover better from what you do on a daily basis. So I am a big fan of incorporating small mindset exercises throughout the day, because I don't have all day to go on a spa retreat or walk 5 hours in the woods to get my fix. I need it fast, and I'm sure you're not any different. So a very effective exercise that reduces stress. So again, it turns off that stress response in your brain and turns on the calm part in your brain, is a deep breathing exercise. And it really just takes 2 minutes. And this is how it goes. So what I'd like you to do is do this exercise along with me and just kind of notice what happens in your own body, in your own mind. So just close your eyes here and just start breathing deeply. Put one of your hands onto your belly. And as you inhale, let that belly expand. Let it come out and rise. If you're lying down, let it rise. And when you exhale, just notice how that belly pulls back in. Inhale, let your belly come out, and exhale. So just continue inhaling and exhaling. I want you to shift your awareness to your shoulders. They should be nice and relaxed and light. Let those shoulders drop. I also don't want you to breathe into your chest. This is not your chest rising. This is your belly rising. Deep belly breathing. If you're breathing up here, just up here, shallow breathing, that creates anxiety. All right, so we want the deep belly breaths. And I'm just going to time this for 2 minutes to take you through this. We're going to inhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own. Just let your belly rise and fall. Each deep Inhale and exhale. Relax your neck and shoulders. Just notice your breath entering your body and leaving your body. Just take 3 more deep breaths. And then open up your eyes again. Just notice if you notice any shift in your body and tension leaving your body, focus, calmness. So what you just did is you activated your parasympathetic part of your nervous system, your calm part. When you activate it, it shuts off the stress hormones. Stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, they actually make your blood sugar go up. They create anxiety. They create lack of focus. They can jack up your appetite and your sugar cravings, and they can really drop your energy. We want constant stimulation through little bits and pieces of your parasympathetic nervous system, the calm part. And deep breathing is just a simple one. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, deep into your belly. So do that. If you have trouble falling asleep, this is a beautiful exercise. And then I want to show you just one more exercise that is a game changer if you wake up in the middle of the night feeling anxious or need to do even more for blood sugar control. So for that one, you can actually lie down flat on the floor if you want, or you can also do it seated. And this one will just take 2-3 minutes. So close your eyes, sit upright, and just imagine that above your head, there's a really bright white light that is touching the crown of your head. And everything that this light is touching, it relaxes completely. It relaxes your forehead. All the little frown lines are just disappearing. It relaxes your eyebrows and eyes. It completely relaxes your cheeks and jaw, your mouth. Your teeth may even begin to part. The area around your ears and your entire scalp. Let that deep relaxation travel down your neck and shoulders, taking with it any tension, heaviness that you feel, just leaving lightness and a deep sense of relaxation in there. Continuing further into your shoulders and arms, down into your elbows, all the way down into your forearms and wrists, down further into your hands and fingers. And any tension that you picked up along the way, let that tension leave your body through your fingertips and allow a deep sense of relaxation and calm enter your body. And then further, let that relaxation travel down your chest and upper back, down into your belly, your hips, and thighs, further down into your knee area, your calves and your shins, all the way down into your ankles and feet. And again, any tension that you picked up along the way, let it leave your body through the bottom of your feet and soak up a deep sense of calm, connection to your body, and peacefulness. So that was just a very brief body scan. You can open up your eyes again. And again, it's another powerful way that activates the calm part of your nervous system and slows down your heart rate. It turns off the stress hormones so that they don't wreak havoc on your body. So just as a little summary, what we discussed today are all the things that you have control over, even though things are a little uncertain. So make sure that you make those things you have control over count so that when we come out of this period, we come out on top and we feel like we've grown in ways that we wouldn't have otherwise grown, right? Because we need to use this opportunity as a chance to grow and make the most of it. No other way around it. So I would love to just open up this space for some questions. Anything that you want to know, chime in, and I want to spend a few minutes just to get you the answers you need. A good carb amount per meal. Well, as a general rule, what you can gauge your carb intake by is let's say your goal weight is 150 pounds. That means you need about 150 grams of carbs per day or less. Most people shouldn't eat less than 100 grams of carbs because it can make them very hungry. So this is just a clean eating diet, right? We're not talking about the ketogenic diet or anything like that. But if your goal weight is about 150 pounds, then aim for about 100 grams as the bottom part, 150 as the top part. Split that into 5 smaller meals throughout the day. That gives you an average of 30 grams of carbs per meal. Now, that means a boatload of vegetables. You could eat 50 spears of asparagus to get 30 grams of carbs, or 3 big cups of broccoli, or 4 huge carrots, right? But if you're eating starchy carbs, 1 white potato already has 40 grams of carbs. A slice of bread already has 15, 20 grams of carbs. So when it comes to starches, it's either easier just to moderate it by counting bites. 5, 6, 7 bites usually equals 25 to 30 grams of carbs. So that's what I would shoot for. And then assess, how's my blood sugar? How's my appetite, my cravings, and my energy? And if the appetite is quiet, cravings are in check, and the energy is good, blood sugar is balanced, then you probably are right on the right track, and your carbohydrate needs have been met. Of course, with more exercise, you may need to eat slightly more. With less exercise, now that we're all a little more sedentary, we don't need quite as many carbs because we're not burning them as much. Okay. You're very welcome. Gaining weight since starting insulin. Well, it could have to do with, you might be maybe you're taking in too much insulin. It could be too many carbohydrates. It could be stress related. That is something I would discuss with your doctor. It also needs to, you should measure your blood sugar and see what the impact of various meals is on your blood sugar versus the impact of stress. And also get a check on insulin. Maybe you're taking too much, right? So that's something that I would discuss with my healthcare provider. What's the best to eat right before working out in order to keep blood sugar from crashing? Well, that really depends on what type of workout you're doing. The average, just as a general rule, what you can say is you're burning between, let's say, 30 to 45 grams of carbs in an hour-long workout, right? So if you want to fuel your workout, I would have an average of 30 grams of carbohydrates before a workout, and see how that affects you. If you're doing a very intense, high intensity interval training workout, then you probably need more fuel. If you're sprinting, you need more carbohydrates than if you're doing a walk, obviously. So the higher the intensity, the more carbohydrates, all right? You feel calmer, very good. That's a good idea. Any other questions that, yeah, so Holly, maybe you can share these exercises with your daughter and teach her that she can actually take control over her stress levels by shifting into a calmer state of mind, right? Is yoga a good activity? Yeah, so yoga is, I wouldn't consider it a workout per se. It depends on the type of yoga. So yoga is wonderful because it's calming for your mindset. It definitely moves the entire body. It helps you connect to your body better. It calms your breathing. So with that being said, it is a wonderful activity to balance your blood sugar. I would not use it as the sole activity if my goal was to lose fat, right? So for fat loss, I always recommend strength training, because when you strength train, you're building up your muscle, and for the long run, increasing your metabolic activity, meaning the amount of calories you burn just resting. For that, you need to strength training. It doesn't take much. Just what I showed you earlier is a strength training workout, using your own body weight, your own resistance to build muscle. And doing that 3 times a week would be a great starting point. Just start with 5-minute workouts. If you want to get some short workouts, come to my Instagram page. It's Ariane Hundt. I post super short but super effective workouts that you can pull up, along with some nutrition tips, all free. Just try them and see for yourself how effective they are. All right, any more questions from you guys? All right, well then I would like to thank you for joining today, for taking the time to learn a little bit more. I hope I taught you something that you didn't know before, or at least brought back into memory the things that you did once know and applied. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with me on social media. On Facebook, it's Ariane Hundt, or on Instagram. I'm happy to give you some feedback or some tips. But I hope you keep yourself strong and sane throughout this period, and make sure you come out on top. And thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Bye bye.